Hello YouTube, Joseph Crickmore here, and finally I'm on this final batch of episodes of Undead Unluck for my rewatch, episodes 19 to 24, and I put this set of episodes off for as long as I did, mostly because of this. Number 5. Why? Well, let's see. I had to make sure I had my notes correct, and I had my information that I wanted to share with people, because, well, anyone who has read this volume specifically and is aware of what's in episodes 19 to 24, they'll know that a certain scene was changed. A certain scene was changed. And there's actually a very legitimate reason for it. So before anyone goes and hates the series because they changed a scene that's like, oh, character development. They made the change they had to because, I hate to say this, but sometimes things just hit really close to home. It's like a scene in early Sakamoto days. I think it's like, what, chapter 3? There's like a specific thing that's like a very real thing. If they leave that in Sakamoto Days' adaptation when it comes out next year, I'll be surprised, because in Undead Unluck, they had to alter it. And I'm kind of grateful that they did, because who wants to animate something that is so close to home? You'll see what I mean when we get to the episode in the reaction itself. So you'll be seeing this in the episode. And I say all of that to say this. Don't let a tiny little thing like that ruin your enjoyment of the show. It's at this point that the manga has a few extra things that the anime didn't really leave in, because there's also another scene in this volume that feels repetitive, that they cut for time. Which is weird, because they were stretching out the content to get to a certain point to end on episode 24. I hope they have the pacing issue down, because this is where it's the most prevalent. It's the most obvious that they were having pacing trouble. I never noticed when I first watched it, but I hope they get it down, because we're getting a special in January. I hope we make it to a certain chapter in season 2, because if you do any less than that, it would be too fast. And if you did... wait, how do I want to phrase this? There's a certain chapter I hope season 2 ends on, especially now that we have an hour-long special coming up next. But it's like, if you don't stop at the chapter... I'm not trying to say the chapter number, because it's a spoiler. It's like... Because if you stop the season any earlier than that, it would feel like you didn't do enough. You know? There's like people trying to predict all that. And I might make a video just talking about the different pacing they could do for a season 2. But we have to get to that point on this channel. So this is what this video is finally for, so I can just get it out of the way. Otherwise, this will be a really good end to the season, and I'll see you people in the episode itself. And the next time you see me here will be the post-episode discussion. Well, the post-batch discussion, because it's multiple episodes. So join me as we finish Undead Unluck on this channel for now, and cut. Okay, post-batch episode discussion time. Man, oh man, oh man. I'm tired. That was my biggest batch recording ever. 6 episodes. I don't think I'm ever going to do another batch of episodes again that is that many, unless it's like I do an entire show in one recording. Which why did I plan it this way? I'll never know. But it's done. The season is done. We're caught up. I can now have, an English dub reaction on YouTube, because apparently that is really rare for Undead Unluck. And, it's nice that I'm maybe one of the first people to watch it in English. I don't know why not. It's a very good English dub. Very good. But whatever. My thoughts on the episodes themselves, well, there's a lot to talk about, and I'm not going to. I am exhausted. What I will say is this. The story managed to wrap up the arc right at that last episode, but you could clearly tell they were trying to drag out the content that they had to get to that point. Well, it makes me wonder if they cut back a little bit on the flashbacks. Could we have had the next fight in the final episode? So that would be 3 less chapters to worry about for the future. But nope, what's done is done. We gotta worry about doing now chapters 54 to 57. And then the arc after that in the upcoming special that comes out in January, which I will be reacting to. With the jersey, the referee jersey, because this hat only applies to stuff I've watched before. The jersey is supposed to represent if I've read the source material before the thing came out, you know? Meaning, if I were to go back and react to seasons 1 and 2 of Slime, I'd be wearing the hat, not the jersey. Okay? Okay. So, with all of the logistics out of the way, what do I say about Undead Unluck? Man, it managed to do so many things that I'm still surprised don't seem out of place in the story. It made an entire episode dedicated to, like, a giant meta joke about how the author wrote the one-shot and, like, real criticism that he got from Shueisha and all that stuff. As well as Ana-un speaking with manga terminology, which is not just meta. He's a mangaka who writes shoujo manga, so of course he would know the terminology. But in a weird way, it's meta to hear it that way, you know? In a series that already feels like a very unique thing on its own, this is the beginning of when it starts to get good. For a lot of things. I'm not going to say anything, and I'm not going to spoil anything. But what I will do is this. I will leave you off with the knowledge that if you want to continue Undead Unluck and you're impatient, like I was when I caught up with this, start with this one. Sure, there are 6 before that. 6 volumes made up season 1 with the pacing issues it had. So if you want to read post season 1, pick number 7 up first, and then just keep reading from there. As of this video, the latest release is 16, which I have, yep. 17 won't come out for another couple weeks. So, just know that this is where you would want to start. It's also like where things get really into high gear. What else am I gonna say? I relived my least favorite episode. That was a treat and a half. And I only said I didn't like it because, well, do you really expect... Like, when you know the whole episode revolves around, you meet these characters. You meet how they ended up, their fate. And knowing that going into the episode, it's like, do I really want to relive sadness and pain that will make up this whole episode? And then I got reminded of Akira's tragedy in 2 episodes from then. So it's like, Undead Unluck really does that for people. But that's how it is early on. Showing us the cruel tragedies of these negators. And how they're still pressing on in the hopes of killing God. And I'm grateful of where the story is now. Like, current manga. Everything that happens gets us to that point. So I'm very happy with how this story keeps evolving from here. And before I log off and say thank you all so much for watching this amazing series with me, and for watching my reactions of Season 1. I will leave you all with this. I know you see it in my background anyway, but this I drew a week after I finished reading and catching up with the manga. I was so inspired that this is the fastest I've ever made new artwork. I was so inspired that I literally got out of my creative block and I went and made this. Took me, 5 hours nonstop, no breaks, to get from getting all the assets I needed to creating the final image, and I'm proud of it. I mean, you can tell it's been in my background for this entire series. But this is a better look at it, you know? So, I'll end with this. Season 2 is probably on the horizon. We have a special coming in January. So I'll see you all again when that special comes in January. I'm definitely going to be reacting to it. So, thank you all so much for watching. If you liked it, hit the like button, subscribe, share the video with a friend. Join my Patreon, please, and thank you. There'll be a lot of new exclusive stuff to come on my Patreon. And I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.